Yeah. So in this Blab chat, then we are going to try to see how we can inspire ourselves, inspire yourself with some different techniques, different ways of asking questions. And I'm Margarita Chrysolotis. And Heidi, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Heidi Hörn, and as if you have the map on the right on top, you see I'm the point right on the right side. I'm in Italy, while you are from Canada, Margarita, and I see people here from USA. So we are international, as you see. Yeah, we are both coaches, Margarita and me, and we are collaborating for about 2 years in a show which is called Connection, and we did this on Hangouts. And we talked, for instance, about inspiration, about many things, about self-healing. Margarita, she is the expert in healing, and I talked about relationships. So I think it's enough for me. So, do you want to say some more about you?
So what would inspire you today, Heidi? When you have this enormous problems, what would inspire you? What would pick you up and get you into a good mood?
This is easy, Margarita, because as you know, I was away for 2 days, and only going back in the memory, I'm already inspired. I still see the mosaici, how do you say it in English? Mosaics in these wonderful churches, which are 1,500 years old. And you know, this is wonderful art, wonderful art there. As I don't know if you ever were in Ravenna and saw this. This is so absolutely inspiring. And I see it in front of my inner eyes. And I can forget all the other troubles.
That's a really good way of going back.
What is it for you, Margarita?
Yeah, it's a very good idea to go back. If you're having problems with inspiration, that when you had an inspiring episode, you were away for several days while we had to be here in our regular routine. I mean, I haven't been in Ravenna, but I've been in Rome and in the Sistine Chapel, and I really enjoyed going into the Sistine Chapel, even though at that time it was. Yeah, it was building things with the scaffolding that they renovating the ceiling at that time. It was in 1989 or something like that. No, yeah, 1989. When I got married with my second husband. So that was very inspiring to actually visit. I mean, the Italian culture is awesome. I just love all the the art and the absolute inspiring environment down that by the north or the south of Napoli. Along that coast, and driving there along that coast is so beautiful. I was just like going, the peninsula there goes out to Capri eventually, and it was a very inspiring time. And so I can come and remember that. And then I climbed up to Mount Vesuvius. Had an argument with my husband, husband to be actually. The whole trip up the from the Pompeii there and in the volcano, and I guess that's was the energy there. I'm sure it was the energy there that triggered us to be. But then it subsided, and then we came down to near Capri there on that peninsula. It was really, really inspiring, I must say. And so this is, if you have something that is bothering you and you don't want to talk about it, it's better to come back to a memory which has inspired you in the past, and then that picks you up. And Heidi, are you still there? Okay, so Heidi had.
Do you hear me?
Okay, go ahead.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear
Yes.
me? Okay, okay. I'm still here. I see myself and I see you.
So, is there any other?
You are very right.
There is a little bit of delay here in the transmission from Heidi.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Do you see me?
No, I don't see you.
So
only
I
audio.
speak. I wanted to say, okay, so only audio is okay too. For me, you're completely right saying that when the self-inspiring is very much connected with what you think or what you imagine. So I can see very clearly when I'm in fearful things, no preoccupations, and then I feel very uninspired. And if I instead imagine these wonderful things, you know, then preoccupation sort of goes away. It goes in the background, and it's not taking me anymore. So it is a very good technique to do that. So for me, it's also important that people who know which subject is inspiring to them, that they use it often, that we use it often, go into the imagination, make it always nicer and more complete and more, you know, more colorful, so that it becomes like an anchor, that it becomes like an immediate thing, that you only have to think about one aspect of this imagination and the whole thing comes up. So it's a very good technique. Thank you, Margarita. What is inspiring to you?
Well, yeah, what's inspiring me is when somebody smiles. What inspires me is when I can connect with somebody who actually understands what I talk about, or when we do art, they can convey what they're doing in their art, and then convey that, like we were drawing or painting or making ink drawings. That is really inspiring for me, because I engage the sensory organism inside on you know, an intuitive, creative side, and when I do that, that's like so amazing, because all the negative thoughts and all the negative you know, the thought forms that goes on in the brain, it just whew, and then I'm in the drawing mode, and then I can I can, most of the time I can clear that negativity when I think about it. But if I don't think about it, then it's really hard. And sometimes people have these oppressive feelings and thoughts inside, and then it's really hard to be inspired or be happy or have a good mood. But it's like a practice, right? So when I do the instant drawing, right? So even though maybe not many people can draw, you could do something like this, right? And like that. and then put it up on your screen by your computer or by your if you're driving, or put it near yourself and to remind you that yes, I have a happy side. I can inspire myself. This is also something else. It's like a cue. And send a happy message to somebody else, or call somebody that you know is happy and a buddy of yours, like you and me, Heidi. And it's very interesting that when we collaborate and talk with other people, when we're friends, we pick each other up. It's very difficult when some people who always are negative and call you up and drags you down. That's not what I mean. But it's like a give and take. What do you say about that? Heidi?
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. So yeah, you were saying that you draw this what power they have. This is an immediate how do you say, information which goes into the brain and immediately cheers us up when we see that. And when we see the other one with the mouth word, the same thing, you know, it does something to our emotional state. We really undervalue that. And so the idea to put this little smiley face on wherever you look at it out this week. It's a good idea.
So then,
even if you don't actually look at it and
like, then you can listen to music, and then your heart is sort of supported here. I mean, just actually have a thought that one can pick oneself up immediately. It's not impossible. It's just like most people don't really think about that. They just react to every single situations that, oh, that person said something nasty to me, and then or there was an email that's sent to a person and they ranted about that for 3 days. You know, that's not really healthy to do that. Instead, get over it in an instant, and then you can maybe take a look at it when your mood is up, because then you can see it in a different way. There's like the problem with sticking to negative thought forms is that it just drills it down, and it got worse and worse and worse. So you have to sort of spiral ourselves up.
And how do you do that?
Okay, so we can do it in this way. First, we visualize.
How do you spiral yourself up?
Okay, so we visualize ourselves here. Now we have these all kinds of difficulties. And then we can imagine ourselves move up to here. Just visualize. You go up there. Here's like the bad state. And then you think about some event, positive event, a positive person, a positive habit, you know? And that, like, so when you think about that event, then you're lifting yourself up. Can you see this? Lifting yourself up to here, right? And then you think about, oh, I had so much fun there, and then you come up here, and then you think about a positive person. Oh, I'm telling you a joke or something like that, and then you come up to here, and then you know, oh yeah, I'm gonna do my positive habit like meditating or chanting or something, and then you come up here. So it's like not like you're gonna go from here to here right away. You just do it in little step by step. How do you like that?
Yeah, in a certain way, I agree with you. What I think, some things which happen to you, we don't need immediately to change them into something else, but we have first to acknowledge them as part of our life. And even if there is something, you know, some grief process to be done before we get ourselves up, it needs to be done, because otherwise we risk to push the issue which needs to be addressed, to push it under the carpet, and that's not good. And what I was thinking, for instance, you say you think, you do imagination. This is good. And at the end, you said do some meditation and something. I would say it the other way around. Do first or drawings or an activity which is really filling you with the joy of being, you know, in the moment when it is needed. And like for people is meditation, for others is singing, for others is drawing, for others is playing the guitar or the piano or whatever. It's going into the nature or something like this. I would do that first and give the time to elaborate internally this issue which we are facing, and then take care for the thoughts we are having and not allow the negative ones. I wouldn't even look out for putting positive ones on top of that, because it is always the risk not to override it, to override the process. But I would take care for, I would take care for not allowing the negative ones to dominate.
Well, the key here, I think, is you have to connect with, if you're just feeling so bad in your mind, and you have to figure out some of these positive events so that you can actually put yourself on the top, so you can actually see what's going on. If there is a difficult problem, you probably want to have ask for help. But if it's the regular day-to-day and you feel like lousy today, then you can go back to visualize some happening. But of course, Heidi is totally right. If there is a real problem there, it's best to actually discuss it with yourself and see, what is this course? What is there something I should face here? And ask for help from a friend or a therapist, something to help you out with that, because there are a lot of qualified people who can help with that kind of thing. Even, you know, sometimes even on our blabs here.
Yeah, it's good.
So, Heidi.
Yeah, what other tools are there to inspire ourselves? Can you hear me?
Well, I think, yes. I think that there is the side of music, which you are very much involved in, and, you know, making music and singing or expressing your voice and something like that. You know, we did that fun and relaxation challenge last year, and we did singing and sounding and toning or something like that, or go and play some flute or a drum if you have something. It's like any kind of musical instrument it's very, very helpful to actually go to that and relax for that. So are you with us here, Heidi? I cannot hear you.
I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh dear, now I cannot see you either. I am still here.
I cannot see you. I only hear the audio. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, this is good. When you can hear me, then I can speak. It's an audio thing. I cannot hear you. I see you anymore.
You're the expert on voice and making sound. What would you do if you wanted to inspire yourself, if you use your voice?
You know, for me, I would say what I would say to people to do. This is the classical joy people have when they do the shower and hear their voice sound. I think this is a good way to get inspired by their own voice. For me, it's a little different because, you know, I can sing however I want, but when I want to, for me personally, when I want to get inspired, I'm listening to music like Bach, or English-speaking people say Bach, or Mozart, or Chopin, and these things, they do really inspire me. They bring me in a different sphere of, in a different modality, in a different mood. But I think everybody has their own preferred music. So for me, it's classical music for sure, and not even sung one, because for me, singing was a profession. So I would go with different, you know, with different preoccupations or with criterias, and listen not so much for fun, but more to, you know, as professionals do, which is others see, oh, here it's good and this is not so good, and blah, 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 blah. While when it's instrumental music, I can enjoy it fully, really. So everybody looks at what they like. For instance, in YouTube, there are so many choices of music. There's, for instance, flute music, or there's Indian music, or Tibetan music, or Brazilian music. Whatever you want, you can try out the music which is really touching you in that moment where you are in need of something, you know. We have this, when internet is working, we have this blessing to have access to so rich, how do you say, a library of music, which can really change our mood, not by wanting us to change it, but the music is just dragging you along into another state of mind. So
well, inspiration is an important part in our life to be happy. And I think that inspiration is something that also, if we allow it to come in, it will always be there. It's like you're opening your chakras here, and then it's like fills you. But the problem is that we can block ourselves out, you know, you block yourself out. But if you open there, you can actually be inspired all the time. I had just a yeah, you can. It's possible. Yeah, it's a choice. It's a choice to be inspired. It's a choice to have joy coming in, even though the tax people are sending letters to us, or there is nasty comments coming your way, and you failed in this writing project, but you know, try it again, never give up.
Yeah. you know that I approve, not, it's not the right word, consent with most of what you're saying. But when you say it's being inspired all the time, we cannot be in one state all the time. The states have to fluctuate like waves. What we can do is to have more time be in an inspired state. This is a choice. But you know, the thing is, when you try to, this is a polarity. When you try to have only one polarity and cut the other polarity off, it doesn't work. There is no good without bad, you know, and there is no positive without the negative. And there is no inspiration without being in a non-inspired mood. Otherwise, everything would be the same, and it's not. So just a little bit quotation mark here, that we shouldn't try to be all the time one thing. It just doesn't work.
To answer you on that, I think that like say, okay, I'm going to do a drawing here to illustrate that. So if a person is here and then here, I can choose to raise myself up to a higher vibration where I am more in charge of myself. Because when we have when like animals and you know, children, for example, they are they taking in what's in from the surrounding much more. But if we could choose what we can take in form of the energy here, then we can make a choice. I mean, if I am in a city, it's like a dreadful energies there, and then I can block that out by choice and still do what I need to do and still be creative and not blocking myself up to the energy flow, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I know what you mean, but I'm doing a little bit the devil's advocate here, no? What I wanted to say, what is so important and what often is not expressed enough is to be able to accept the state in which you are in, to just accept it. And even if you feel it negative, not to run away immediately, but first stay with it, explore it, and then go, because otherwise it is too quick. We need to accept, be in the present, and in the present means to accept what is, and even if it's negative for you, felt negative, accept it, and then you can do all these elaborations, as you said.
So I did another drawing here. So you're the devil's advocate here, and I'm the angel guide on the other side, right? But these are the polarities. Mm-hmm. But if we can have a balanced mind,
absolutely,
that is neutral inside and not follow the negative thoughts and feelings that we can have, if that's a practice, actually, it's a practice to do that, and you can still be aware of there is situation there I have to deal with, but I don't need to engage the whole drama about it. I could stay outside of the drama and look, okay, I don't have to engage in it unless I have a fear I have to let go. If I do have a fear I have to let it go, then of course, then I have to deal with it. But when I've overcome it, and then I can actually, okay, I see that fear that I had before, I see that condition that I was in before, and I'm not going to do that because I need it, because I already have managed it and overcome that kind of thing. Does that make sense, Heidi?
In a certain sense, again, I'm still playing devil's advocate. When you talk of the quiet mind or the equilibrated mind, it is expressing itself by the devil and by the angel. You will always experience both of that. The question is only if you adhere to it, because if you don't experience both sides, and you think you are quiet all the time. This is what I call spiritual bypassing, because you have sort of wiped out your possibility to feel emotions. I think that is not what we want. What we want is not to get dominated by the emotions, as you said before, to be able to step out of that and see them from outside, but not try to avoid one emotion or the other. Just, get enough possibility to be distant, and then comes into it what you said, and then choose with which one you want to align. But it is, in my opinion, it is expressing itself always that you still feel these emotions. They don't go away, but you are not dependent on them anymore. And we have the tendency to think we have to repress the negative emotions and only go up with the positive ones. And this is where we don't completely agree, because I think the negative ones are to be included, integrated, but not given them the right to be the leader. This is a different, you know what I mean? It's a different
so the
way of
negative
thinking
thoughts,
about
I
that.
can experience them, but let them go. And the same with the positive thoughts, right?
Okay.
And emotions. So I can have, they're not sticking to my mind. They don't stick to the mind. It doesn't, like chewing gum sitting here, and I can't detach myself. It's like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly. I think now we're coming to the same sort of reading.
Oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. I could tell another little story about, I saw a movie, and then it was about some kind of demon who did horrible stuff to people, hang them up and suck their energy up. And then, so in the night after that episode, I saw that imagery come to my mind, and then it's glued itself to here, and I couldn't sleep. And then I said to myself, this is ridiculous. So I did sort of a like this. I diminished that thought from those images like this, and so I made them smaller and smaller and smaller, and eventually I send them away right out there, and so I've used that technique actually quite a lot of time. Like, you press that image down small, and then you send it out. It works for me. I've done it several times, and so that imagery of that it doesn't ever bother me again. Well, so I can do it in other things too, and let something go and then make it smaller or change it in some way. And that's, I think, is to make it so that you're not, it doesn't stick to you. So I don't know what Heidi went here. And are you there, Heidi? I see your a picture up there. Well, we are probably at the end of our show, so maybe this is the good time to finish this recording and connect when Heidi has got also her internet. It's much easier to do a Blab show this way. What do you say, Heidi? You got back in again. Can you hear us?